This video may radically shift how you view the universe and our place within it. At the deepest level, comprehending the cosmos is about knowing ourselves. Imagine the entire universe emanating from a primordial source, a state of supreme consciousness transcending our concepts of time and space. This primal chaos consists solely of infinite formless frequencies and pure undifferentiated energy. Some traditions describe it as a highly ordered state of absolute omnipresent consciousness. In the beginning, when this supreme consciousness first rippled with an impulse or thought wave, it set primordial forces into motion. Limited frequencies fell out of the infinite into the first manifest dimension. With no visual form, this maiden realm is sometimes referred to as emptiness or existence, since the very notion of thought itself emerged here. This entire initial dimension sprang forth from that primordial seed thought on the first day of creation. As this seminal dimension expanded outward, the infinite energy alone could not yet produce anything tangible or material. There was only the abstract concept of existence itself, devoid of image or shape. The dynamic interplay of frequencies caused variations like waves, with the laws of physics showing the crests overlapping the troughs. The more order emerged from the source, the more complex consciousness became, arising alongside increasing disorder. The consciousness generated in this primordial empty state still could not manifest recognizable forms or images. This formless realm of pure being is sometimes called the dimension of boundless existence or the secular dimension in ancient philosophies. When consciousness turned its attention inward, contemplating itself with infinite energy yet needing no sensory inputs, the first phenomenon observed was self-awareness, the sense of an I arising. This distinction between a self and other created the perception of spatial dimensions in consciousness. The uppermost realms of this process are collectively known as the colourless realm in some traditions. Within the womb of this boundless spiritual emptiness, consciousness took the infinite energy and began envisioning all kinds of images, shapes, and forms. The limitless creative power now had an expressive phenomenal outlet. Progressing further along this path brings experiences of profound tranquility, joy, and freedom from all attachments in this elevated state of pure consciousness. However, it seems inevitable that intensively engaging with the myriad sense experiences eventually leads to developing cravings, desires, and attachments. Each time such a desire arises, consciousness becomes more muddled and clouded, its frequency lowers in vibration, and it descends into a denser, more constricted dimension of experience. The ancients referred to our current level as the Jade realm, a higher but fragmented realm where consciousness is divided into countless individual sentient minds trapped in physical form. These separated fragments of the original unified field of consciousness, whether viewed as collective thought networks, the human psyche, or anthropomorphized as deities, spiritual forces, or principalities, all seem to cooperate in preventing individual conscious minds from perpetually escaping the limitations of this embodied physical realm. Without our consensual participation, this whole felt experience of material reality could not perpetuate itself. Our conscious beings are not permanently destroyed after bodily death, but rather recycled life after life to feed psychic energy into sustaining the universe's phenomenal continuity. Consequently, the energy of our individuated minds grows incrementally weaker over time. The more we try to use external methods, practices, or philosophies to find liberation, the more trapped we become in the very ideologies that were supposed to free us. It's said the most effective way to imprison someone is to ensure they never realize they are imprisoned in the first place, an apt description of humanity's plight, not recognizing the conditional, limited nature of our existence. Every belief system, ideology, or philosophical idea we tenaciously cling to acts as another semi-permeable membrane, limiting our consciousness and consuming our life energy. We continually ask, "Who am I really?" but fail to see that we are merely composites of inherited cultural ideas, emotional patterns, and psychic imprints. Our very sense of an individual ego or self arises from subconsciously identifying with certain thought constructs over others. The secret to ultimate spiritual liberation is fundamentally an inner shift of perspective, a radical transformation in our mode of perception, like suddenly clearly seeing that the proverbial fish was already out of the water the whole time. When we can glimpse our underlying cosmic nature behind the entire theatric play of personal constructs, that very seeing is the awakening which opens our awareness to the fluidity of all dimensions of being, freeing us from confinement to any one limited realm. Our various ideological beliefs, philosophical ideas, and acquired knowledge no longer possesses or defines us. Instead, we can fluidly embody the ability to experience all dimensions of reality, even potentially reuniting with the original source consciousness. This process of returning is possible because our very struggles, grasping, attachments, and fixations are the net of conditioned habits, which have been ensnaring us in the illusion of a limited perspective this entire time. Once we see through those artificial, limiting identifications and release them, they no longer bind or entrap our consciousness, even while we remain biologically human on the physical plane. Our consciousness grew from the vast, undifferentiated source before becoming ensnared in progressively lower and more encapsulated frequencies of experience. But now we can consciously retrace our path back to reuniting with the higher frequencies. Those who are spiritually ripe sense that their long-standing inner work is finally about to bear fruit in the blossoming of cosmic liberation, a return to their original, essential nature beyond all limitations. Accelerating this process of unfoldment requires elevating our frequency of consciousness and awareness. The esoteric teachings and encoded wisdom left by realized masters and beings across all times are imbued with just such high vibrational frequencies of insight. By sincerely studying and contemplating those teachings, even for a glimpse, we can raise our vibrational attunement and resolution of consciousness, at least temporarily for most. Many feel uplifted in those precious moments of clarity, but then unfortunately slip back into old habitual patterns of perception due to lack of steadiness or continuity of practice. The real spiritual practice is learning to hold one's attention, unwavering and undistracted, completely absorbed in the quest. Unfortunately, most of the people and circumstances in our surrounding environment resonate at relatively lower frequencies of consciousness. If our own mind is not centered, grounded, and metaphysically fortified through inner work, we get easily influenced and pulled down in vibration to match those denser, chaotic patterns. However, with persistent, devoted practice of meditation, prayer, or other means of refining one's conscious energy, our individual high frequency can elevate, harmonize, and integrate our entire living environment and circumstances over time. This is the esoteric power that yogis, mystics, saints, and spiritual masters of all traditions have wielded. The subtle ability to quite literally embody and establish new, more refined patterns of physical, mental, and spiritual energy in the fields and spaces where they resided, taught and carried out their sacred work. Such energy does not arise from mere philosophy or ideology, but from the adept's own direct embodiment of our true essential nature in its fullness. As we gradually release our habitual identification with bodily sensations, the ego's demands, and perpetual mental chatter, we come to commune with and express our authentic inner essence more completely in lived experience. Our real, unfettered self-energy increases. Our authentic being naturally emerges to transmute our circumstances, and the apparent constraints of conventional reality itself begin to transform. Ultimately, this process of profound growth and integration allows a few rare individuals in each era to become clear, impartial witnesses, completely unentangled from phenomenal existence, yet still fully present and responsive in the moment. Always remember, the deepest, most fundamental part of your own being remains wide open, thoughtful, and unbounded in its potential. From that state of expansive freedom arises the understanding of our infinite, interdependent universe and our integral role as co-creators within it. The choice to embark on that quantum leap of consciousness rests within yourself. Thank you for joining us in today's journey. If you find this helpful, consider sharing to someone who may also benefit. Until next time.